Hi, this is my beginner's guitar lesson. Today, we're going to be learning about the parts of the guitar. Now, you've gone out, you've bought a guitar, and you want to start playing, and the first thing to learn is the parts of the guitar. So, let's go over that a little bit. You have the main body of the guitar. This is the sound hole. I mean, it's pretty basic. You have the neck, the fretboard, or fingerboard. All of these little metal bits are frets. And when you hear people talk about, put your finger on thus and such a fret, they're talking about like right behind the fret. Behind it meaning in this direction. So behind the fret is more in that direction, and in front of the fret is in that direction, but people will talk about putting your finger behind the fret. So if that gives you an idea of that, it's that way. You have tuning pegs. There are these little tuning keys. Machine heads are different things, but tuning keys, that's these. You turn them in order to change the pitch of the guitar. So, you would turn it one way to make the string a lower pitch, other way to make it a higher pitch. All right, these are the strings, obviously. This little piece right here at the end that holds the strings across it is called the nut. That's your nut, and the strings go across that and all the way down this here fretboard to the bridge. This is your bridge. Now this guitar has, I'm not even sure what these are called, but it has these little pegs that hold the strings in. I guess they're string pegs. I never actually thought about it, but this has these. Different guitars have different different parts like that, but that's how these are held in. So you would need to pull these out. Well, first, reduce the tension, take the string all the way down, pull this out to take the string out, and you put the new string in and push it in to hold it in place when you string up your guitar. So that would be, most guitars you buy are going to come with strings on them. So stringing a guitar is something that I'm sure we can get into that in the future. It's there are different parts on different guitars. This one has an electric pickup in it. Has the controls here, and right here is the plug. It has a piezo pickup that allows you to plug it into an amplifier using a cable. You don't need to. Obviously, it's an acoustic guitar. But you can plug it in. Now, usually these pickups sound a little, bright, I guess you'd say, if you're not used to that term, a little thin. But that's mostly because the pickups are meant for like live performance, generally, and that works better in a live setting. For instance, when I record a guitar, I don't really like using piezo pickups. I'd rather mic the guitar. But not all guitars have those. A lot of newer ones do, though. This is an inexpensive guitar, and it came with one. So a lot of them have them. The most popular brand of those is Fishman. But just talking about the parts of the guitar here, you can see, like I said, this has the little pegs that hold the strings in, and it has that kind of tuning keys. Whereas, like if you get a classical guitar, they tend to have, you can see the bridge is different. And the strings, I have them tied on. You have two types of strings, the tie-on types, usually with classical guitars, and the ball end, whoop, bumping things, or the ball end strings that just, it has a little ball at the end that sits in here. The ball end are probably easier. I prefer the tie-ons, but I've been doing it a long time. Now you can see we're on a classical guitar and some steel strings. The tuning pegs and the head, this is the head of the guitar, they are a little bit different. These, you can see I got a lot of extra string hanging off. You're not really supposed to do that, but, I don't know. You can see where it looks different. Instead of them being sticking out and the strings going around it, the strings go in here. That's standard for a classical guitar. like I said, you can see the bridge looks different, a little bit different on a classical guitar. Some of them, here's another comparison, some of them will have dots on the fretboard that help you see what fret you're on, and they have them along the side too. And this one does not. It used to have them here, but they wore off a long time ago. So you can see where different guitars look different. If you choose an electric guitar, you can see how on this guitar it's shaped a little bit different. It has similar tuning pegs to the steel string guitar there, but they're all in line. That's very similar with Fenders and Fender style guitars, or you might find them where the pegs are on opposite sides of each other. That's fine too. It's all, you know, more or less slightly different setups that accomplish the same thing. You can see where the bridge on this looks a little bit different, and the strings go through the back and out the front and up. So this has a tremolo system, which is a little bit different, but you don't really need to worry about that too much as a beginner. If you have an electric guitar, you're going to have a switch that switches between the pickups. Unless you have one that only has one pickup, this has 3. So you have obviously little knobs. This one has a volume and 2 tone controls. Tone controls will change the way your pickups sound, kind of change the tone of the guitar. And the volume obviously changes the volume, which you can also adjust on most amplifiers. You have a plug here to plug the guitar into the amplifier. Some of them have a plug on the ends or on the back. They put it in different places depending. You also have your strap pegs. These are the pegs that you attach your strap to. If you purchase a strap, you don't have to. You can set the guitar in your lap, or you can get a strap. Either way is perfectly fine. And they put those in different places on different guitars. This one has one here and one on the bottom. I've had acoustic guitars that don't have a strap peg on the top end, and I just take a shoelace and tie the top end around here. So some acoustic guitars are like that. You have to do it a little bit differently. I have guitars like this classical that have no strap pegs at all. So something like that, you'd have to get a specialized strap for if you wanted to use a strap. Now, as far as straps go, I have one right here, and they're fairly easy to put on. You attach it at one end. Am I doing this? Here I am, I'm already messing it up. They put different straps in different configurations, so every guitar I got to look at to see. But for your guitar, I'm sure you get used to it. You can just attach it to those pegs, and now you can hang it from your body. So, fairly straightforward with that. And, you know, you can pick whatever kind of strap you want, whatever suits you, is perfectly fine. This is one that was just inexpensive, and I don't know, I just haven't gotten around to purchasing another one, you know? I've even used a paracord for straps before. I have my one banjo, I have parachute cord holding it, and I just string that over. I don't know if I'd recommend it, but you can do whatever you want with your instrument. It's yours, as long as it works, and it works for you. Now, these are a lot of different parts on the guitar, and of course, depending on your guitar, it might be different. A lot of guitars are different from each other. I have a 12-string guitar. If you decide to get a 12-string, don't be intimidated by that either. That's not that big a thing. It's, you know, tuned the same. It just has 2 strings for each one on a 6-string. And, you know, you can take a look at it. It makes sense if you look at it. But anyway, yeah, those are the parts of the guitar. So most of them are pretty universal. All guitars have a body and a neck and a fretboard. Not all of them have tuning pegs in the same places, depending on, you know, what you get. Not all of them have the sound hole here. Some of them, like electric guitars, don't have, a lot of them don't have sound holes. Some of them do if they're hollow bodies. Some of your guitars are going to have like the little classical F holes on it if it's an arch top. But most of them are pretty similar. You're going to have a bridge, you're going to have a nut, you're going to have your neck and your frets and strings, and that's more or less the parts of the guitar. So, in the next lesson, we'll get into basic playing of the guitar, huh? We'll learn some chords and take a look at how we can start learning songs and writing songs and start to get into the nuts and bolts of this kind of thing. Now that you have a guitar and you know a little bit about your guitar. So, God bless you, and I'll see you in the next video, okay?